Today I had an amazing day, but I also got news that a very famous, popular dancer within the dance world in general apparently took his own life. I don't know if that's the cause of his death, but he has passed on. And because it's someone who I used to look up to when I first started getting into dancing, as some of you know, I'm a dancer as well. I can't not talk about how important it is for you. I'm not going to make this general. I often don't. You, the person listening to these words, this is for you. If it wasn't, you would not be listening to these words. You can only be where you are. You can only be present. You can only be now. Right? Therefore, these words must be for you to hear. If you are going through something negative, challenging, hear these words. Whatever you are thinking about, is not as bad, not as negative, not as destructive, not as sad, not as horrible, in the degree of power to just how much love exists in the understanding of your true self. I say this all the time. I might sound like a broken record, but because I've had my so-called awakening, I've seen it very clear. What you truly are, no hate, no hurt can even affect, because it's purely a spacious aspect of you. That which you would call tangible, your body, that which you would call maybe semi-tangible, your thoughts, your emotions, even they cannot touch what you really are. When you take yourself to be the thoughts, the emotions, your body solely, you can then miss what is ever present in the moment always. There was silence just there. How can you recognize silence? Because what you truly are is more silent than silence. You are aware silence is happening. How can you be aware silence is happening if you cannot hear silence? You cannot hear the absence of something. It's because what you truly are is that which is immovable, before sound, before perception, before the mind, which has its good side and its problems too. What you are is so imperturbable. It cannot be touched. If you are going through something, you have to, I suggest to you, have to take the journey to find what you truly are. Notice I say what. I'm not even saying who, because you're not a who. The who is a label. Michael, Terry, Melinda, Jamal. The who is a label. What you are is something that we cannot label. The observer of experience. Because you are experiencing or observing an experience taking place of your body. It's easy to see yourself as the body experiencing the world, as thoughts experiencing the world. It's harder to see that, hold on, that might be happening, that might be true, But there's also another aspect of you that is aware it's all taking place. The whole experience is taking place within an awareness of it. Can you see that awareness? Can you find that awareness? At some point, you would hopefully do the seeking and try to try to debunk what I'm saying within yourself. That's all you need to do to quicken the experience of the awakening experience. That actually, ultimately, everything is fine, because what you ultimately are is not the mind. The mind is what you perceive. The mind is what you are aware of, depending on how you want to say it. No matter what happens to me, I have the deeper perspective to know what I truly am. And it helps me so much, and it can help you too. So I just want you to, if you have any questions, ask them. But there is nothing that your negative experiences can do to your true self, which is the observer. Can you cut the air in front of you if you had a knife? Can you punch space, raw space? No, it's not a thing, is it? My friend, that's exactly what you are. Ultimately, we call it consciousness, but it's not a thing in the world. You cannot find it because it's what you are. If you can find it, it's not what you are. It's something that you are experiencing that comes and goes. Your thoughts come and go. When you are sleeping, you have no problems at all. How is that so? I'm not talking about dreams. Deep sleep, you have no problems at all. All of us. Why? Because you're not identifying with the mind. You're not observing the mind. The mind is at rest. It melts into that background of itself, which is what you truly are. And that's why you experience purely peace. And it's so peaceful that you are not present with your mind to say, oh, I'm experiencing a peaceful sleep right now. No, there's no mind, because you are purely what you are, which is no thing. But because you are that no thing, no experiences can hurt it or affect it. It is in existence. It's not no thing as it doesn't exist. You exist, right? But it's so majestic, so beyond comprehension of the mind, that it's not a thing, yet it's completely present and real. It's what you truly are. So I just want you to know ultimately that no pain, the power of the pain that you are feeling, the power of the hurt that you are feeling, the power of the suffering you are experiencing is not as powerful as knowing what you truly are. I know this for a fact, and I'm not the only one. Many people have awakened. I'll be honest, not many. It's not an easy thing to have happen to you, but it's worth seeking. Because to get to a stage where you think your life needs to end tells me straight away that, unfortunately, you thought there was no other way. But it's because ultimately you didn't realize you wasn't living as your true self. And I don't mean sexual orientation or identity and nothing like that. No, your true self, which is knowing that you are pure consciousness. First, your identity comes later. Ultimately, you are at peace. Ultimately, you are peace. Ultimately, you are before peace. That's how peaceful you are. You are the stillness that observes stillness. You are the silence that observes silence. Ultimately, you are whole because you are no thing. A thing cannot be whole. Because one thing is a thing, for example, a water bottle, in relation to something that is not a water bottle. Your hand is a hand in relation to your eyeballs. But that no thingness that you truly are, that observer of this moment, you cannot find it because it's whole. There's no parts to it. If you could find it, then it wouldn't be whole, because then it would be in duality. It would be it and not something else. But it's not like that. It's more majestic than that, as I said. It's more full. Nothing more to say, really. I just hope this helps someone, and yeah. Peace, my fellow expressions of consciousness.